Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here today. We are going to do the surrender series. Basically, we're going to start with the hard stuff, which is the hard truths and their perspective versus your perspective of the connection. So just jump right in. Everything you need to know should be down below in the description box. So one of the big things that I always found whenever I started on my spiritual journey is they always tell you to surrender and detach. You know, that's the problem. You got to surrender, you got to detach, but they never really said how. And then also they added to that, do the work and trust in the process. But I didn't really understand what that meant. I thought I did, but I didn't. Another popular one is focus on your own healing. But I didn't get how I could heal from this person and at the same time surrender and detach without thinking about them or adding energy to the connection when they had now also become part of my trauma and something that I needed healing from. And how do you release to the point where you can make decisions about life without worrying that you'll mess up the timeline of union? And that's especially true when most of the readings that you're watching are probably really resonating and are messages of communication and reunion happening soon. So when that happens, it kind of draws us back in. It makes it even more difficult to detach. And then you've got your friends. Your friends probably don't understand why you still feel the way that you do and why you can't just move on. And you know you need to move forward and heal, but that doesn't help the pain, the fact that you can't get them out of your head. And at the same time, you're being bombarded by the signs and synchronicities and all that stuff that's only making it worse. It's only intensifying it. And let's also include the overthinking, overanalysis of the whys, the what ifs, and the fear of letting go when every single fiber of your being is screaming at you to hold on for dear life. Trying to trust, detach, surrender, and release when all that's going on is asking a lot, you know? So I totally get that. I've been struggling for a long time on how to approach this. If you've been with me since the beginning, you know that I've at least been talking about it for about 1.5 years now. I've been there and I understand how it feels, but it's complicated because how do I explain this from an authentic place that'll be helpful but won't discourage you from moving forward on your spiritual path? It's important to keep the faith, hope, and magic alive, but also to focus it in the right direction. So that's our goal here now, is to like feel and heal. Now, everybody's journey is unique, but we also share some key denominators. There's no right or wrong way to surrender, so please only take what resonates for you and your situation and journey. There's no magic wand to be waved. It's not an overnight process. It is one day, one step at a time. But also remember to celebrate your wins, no matter how small they are, and to give yourself grace on the days when you're in pain and just feel like you're regressing. Sometimes things come back to haunt us and are just there to like remind us that we still have some additional healing that's needed. You're not back to step one. And if you're not ready to surrender yet, that's okay. You know, nobody can force it. It has to be whenever you're ready. But there will come a time when you'll have to surrender. If not, you'll get dragged by the universe. They'll come in and bring a tower. And that happened to me about this particular topic because I've been so resistant to share this message. So we're just going to go ahead, share it, get it over with, and go from there. So the first part, surrender and detachment. They don't tell you the how. And the how is going to be probably a little different for everyone. So feel free to share what worked for you in the comment section below. It will definitely be helpful to somebody out there. And I also wanted to add that surrendering and releasing the outcome is the hardest part for most people. The more stubborn of a person that you are, the more difficult that this might be. Okay. So the first one, oh, and then we're going to do a tarot card reading. I forgot to add that. I'm sorry. After we get through this, I'm almost done. All right. Facing the hard truths. And I started with the hard truths because that's the stuff that is the hardest, that causes the most pain. At some point, you'll have to ask yourself, what if they don't return? Even if you feel it with every ounce of your soul that they will or that they're going to at some point in time, you can't really surrender and release the outcome if you don't face this question, because you're energetically tying yourself to the outcome only being with this one specific person, which is the opposite of surrender and release. So just ask yourself, what if they don't return? And then decide, what's my expiration date? What is the longest amount of time that you're willing to allow yourself to, quote unquote, wait on this person and or to feel the way that you're feeling right now? It's really important not to get stuck in the pain and the darkness. And it's also very empowering to make that decision for yourself as kind of a goal of sorts instead of feeling trapped until the universe brings you a tower. Okay, so that's the first question. It's one of the hardest questions, and just be honest and look at it from a practical standpoint and as well, you know. The second thing is to take the rose-colored glasses off. The universe will eventually take them off for you if you don't. While this might feel like they're the perfect person for you, they're not a perfect person. So honestly, see their flaws. Pay attention to their actions and their words. Did they match? It's really easy to get manipulated into a situation by someone's words, to fall in love with them with all the sweet things they said and that tugged at our heartstrings, but did their actions match those words? If not, then they were unable to give you what you want and need, or the relationship that they promised you with those words. Now, the goal here is not to hate this person or beat them out of your heart. It's to see the truth of the situation as it stands right now, not in the past, not in the future, so that you can forgive both them and yourself and move forward. And often we put our person on a pedestal and we either don't see or we ignore their flaws. But when we do this, we only add to our own self-worth and abandonment issues and other triggers. So acceptance of them and seeing someone for who they truly are is really the only way to love someone unconditionally. Identifying areas of healing that they need for themselves might be helpful as well. You can't do the healing for them, but sometimes we're drawn to people because of these things to either help them learn to heal that subconsciously or to heal the same thing within ourselves. It could also help you see things from their perspective so that you can see that they didn't leave you behind because you're unworthy, but because they felt unworthy of the love you had to offer. So realizing things like this helps us with our healing, our own abandonment and self-worth issues, and seeing things from a higher perspective, okay? And we'll get to our own healing and stuff like that, but that's a totally different video. But my hard truth was this person left me like I was nothing. Literally, like I was nothing. I had never been ghosted. I couldn't reconcile what we had with the way that it ended and the way that I felt, the way that he felt. Everyone before had always returned, but he didn't. And him being unable to handle his feelings for me might have been a valid reason, but it wasn't a good excuse. I deserved a better goodbye. And he'd chosen not to choose me, so I had to choose me. I had hit my expiration date, you know? And that wasn't saying he was a bad person. It was just bad timing, and I couldn't hold on to that energetically anymore. So the next one is their perspective of the connection might not be the same as yours, but that doesn't make it any less real, okay? We got to try to get past the surface level meaning of mirrored energy. Whether they feel the same way as you do right now doesn't matter. If they've not awakened to the connection, they're not likely to understand it or view it the same way as you do at this time. That's the key word, at this time. The more you try to help them figure it out, the more their energy will be resistant to it. Their awakening might be brought on by something totally different that leads them back to you, but it can't be forced or controlled. You also can't control someone else's actions or choices. You can't force their free will. They can love you more than they've ever loved anyone or anything before, but still decide not to show up for you in the 3D. For whatever reason, you know, whether they're in a different situation that they can't get out of or that they won't get out of, or, you know, live 6,000 miles away. And I mean, we have to also kind of think about these things too, like logistically for some people, those things are a factor and are an issue and are making a difference in their perspective of the connection. So the past can't be changed. And honestly, even if you had done it differently, you probably would have gotten the same result. It might have prolonged it a little more, but eventually the same cycles will repeat themselves until a tower comes along and puts a stop to it. So you're always where you need to be when you need to be there. And if you're early to the party, so what? It means that you're well prepared. So those are the first two things, and that's the hardest thing too. And I thought that we would go ahead and do a reading by astrological sign. I'm going to try to keep it from getting too complicated and messy here. I pre-pulled these cards, but I don't know what they say. So we're going to go ahead and start with Virgo. And the intention is to get on the left-hand side the hard truths that you might not be aware of. And then on the right-hand side is going to be their their perspective, their perception of the connection, okay? So the main overview here, Virgo, is crossroads. So divergent paths, choices, confusion, follow your intuition, split energy, options, unfocused, multitasking, decide what you really want, in spring. Your love is blooming, your answers arrive in spring. It feels very much to me like this is just like a split energy connection. Both people went on two different paths, I feel. Especially, so from this person, the hard truth for Virgo, we've got guidance, turning in, the rebel, and traveling. They are ignoring every single sign and synchronicity that comes their way. It's almost like every time that they almost get it and that guidance tries to come through, it scares them back into their shell. They are so resistant to it here with the rebel. And with the traveling card, it might have, the relationship that you guys had originally might have went too fast for them, but I also feel like that's the only thing that's keeping this thing from moving, is that resistance and that inability to awaken to that. Let's see where that comes from with the tarot card here. Why are they so resistant to this connection, please, for Virgo and the crosswatcher? Okay, they've got another person, another connection most likely, or they could have put you in a third-party situation that ended it and haven't quite gotten past that. It almost feels, with the Queen of Cups, Seven of Swords, Three of Cups here, they might even have some feelings or emotions for this other person, but they know that deep down inside that they went the wrong way. But basically, it was just a third-party situation that went awry and they made the wrong choice. So the other cards for Virgo, as far as the perception of your person, of the connection, was the Rock, grounded energy, stability, commitment. They ignored all the heavy issues with the Elephant, the Hourglass, time is running out, someone is not speaking their inner truth, and the Divine Masculine. So their perspective of it, come on, Mercury retrograde. Let's get this out of the way. I'm so sorry. They saw you as something that they could definitely have made something with, a life with, a solid home. But for whatever reason, the timing was just wrong. And maybe they haven't come around yet because they feel like they missed their opportunity. And they're definitely, they have something to say, but they're not, I don't know that they're going to say it. Like they're just keeping it in. It's probably a masculine energy. I'm probably talking to the counterpart right now. What is it that they have to say? There's the Ten of Wands. They're just carrying this burden around and just not trying to make it right. Why can't they make it right? I'm hearing that they feel like they can't come in until they can give you, yes, a solid offer, Ace of Pentacles. Until they can give you what you want, need, and deserve, they're not even going to come there. They're trying to get the Strength, though, with the Strength card. They're taming the beast. They could be dealing with the Leo. Let's get one advice card for Virgo, and then we'll move on to Libra. I am going to try to remember to timestamp these guys as well, okay? A work in progress, manifestation. So it's just a matter of this person getting it. But that is not a reason to not surrender, because that could be 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, okay? They're just saying, yes, you're right. Your intuition is right, but now it's time to focus on you and move on. Well, that's good, though. There's nothing crazy about that. So Libra, your overall is alone, abandoned, lonely, lost. The divine is with you, and healing. Self-care, time out, be gentle with yourself and your twin. So someone probably got left out in the cold here for the Libra connection. The hard truth, laziness, ripeness, consciousness, rebirth, sorrow, and harmony. Wow. A lot went down in this connection. There's a basic just procrastination energy here. Someone, not only was it not balanced, I feel like somebody didn't put in not even 15, 20% of the effort. A lot of breadcrumbing there. They do have sorrow behind it. There is, with the harmony card here, I feel like they might, one or two things. They either put everyone's happiness before their own, or only their own happiness before everyone else's. And if it's the latter, that's attached to this procrastination energy. So they just have a crap ton of healing to do, Libra. And what else can you tell Libra about their person? And when it comes to love, they feel very page-like, very immature, very scared of it, not sure how to handle it. Four of Cups, just ignoring it. Ace of Cups, Temperance, and the Nine of Cups. There's a sense of complacency here. We're going to come back to that in a second. Let's see over here as far as their perspective. Now, this is interesting. So I had a double deck, that I used for both of these. Two paths came out for you guys together. So there would be 120 cards in that deck, and out of 6, 2 of them match. That's insane. So that's decisions or crossroads. So both sides of you, either were already at a crossroads where you went divergent, kind of like the Virgo reading over here, or one's coming up. Lots of mirrored energy. New passions or pursuits, and the defense. The ball is in their court. So they feel, if you're dealing with this the mean one over here, that's not going to be for everybody. That's going to be for the minority of the Librans. But that message is going to get to that person. If that's you, then they're just being defensive. Everyone else, they're feeling like, for whatever reason, the ball is in your court. To approach them, talk to them. Why would that be the case? Why do they feel that the ball is in Libra's court? Now, since it's their perception, they could just have blamed you for how it went awry. Also, the Ten of Wands, a heavy burden with the Magician. That's a weird combat. Let's do one more for that. Competition. This is like the same story. I don't even know why I break it down. I should have just done this collectively, because there's so many people involved in this. And so many fears and underlying issues. Let's go with these two paths. What is this two paths for Libra, let's say? Three of Swords and Five of Cups. So something caused a lot of heartache, regret, and sadness for Libra. The path either not taken or the path they did take. What about for Libra's person? The Devil, the High Priestess, and the Knight of Wands. They didn't listen to their own intuition. And they allowed, let's just say they could be quite promiscuous, or they let their passions of other things get in the way. I think out of fear. They were scared of the depths of this with the High Priestess, and Libra you might not even know they felt this way about you. Let's get an advice card for Libra. Health and well-being. And remember, you had the healing. So there's a lot of healing needed in this connection. Separately and together. But I think it's going to have to be worked out individually before the conversation can even be had to fix it between you guys. All right, let's move on to, I have Pisces down here, but it technically should be Scorpio. So divine timing and big goals. Wow. So patience, peace, trust that the divine knows when, and big goals. Career, business, success, claim your place in the world. So for that being in between the connection, Scorpio, your person might have just been focused on work or used that as a way to escape. The hard truths here are suppression, healing, compromise, silence, moment to moment, and beyond illusion. So this person is definitely suppressing their feelings here, going through a period of healing. When it came to compromise, they might not have been very receptive to that. I'm getting a big emperor vibe there. And that could have just been because they were kind of set in their ways and had always just done things the way that they were supposed to do them, or felt that they should be done. And you might have tried to, I'm not saying change them in that, but your spirit might have tried to activate something in them to change that, and they did not like that at all. And I also feel with moment to moment, they might have not been ready to settle down. Logistically, that might have been a problem, but I feel like it's also that they might have been focused on work and feel like they needed to have a stronger foundation, or they couldn't give you what you need. And with the Beyond Illusion card, the intensity of it was part of the reason why it went awry. Like, it scared them to a sense that they felt it could not be real. It must be an illusion. Like, I'm getting like that desert oasis type of vibe there. Let's see what this has to say. So their perspective. Yep. So they know with the sparkler, everything happens for a reason, divine intervention. With divine timing, guys, this is definitely divinely guided couple here. They knew you were brought in there for a reason. They're trying to understand it and figure it out from a logical standpoint instead of with their heart space, so that's a big problem. They felt very lucky to have met you. Upcoming blessings, luck is on your side. In their core, they might expect fully for you guys to reconcile with divine timing. We've got the hourglass, time is running out. I think that's a timing factor in this position. The children card, children could have been a factor. But since this is from the perspective standpoint, that still could have been a factor. I'm hearing that because for some reason they had to take... No, I'm not going to say that. Let's move. We'll come back to that children card. So patience, ancestral help, and assistance with peonies, which is exactly divine timing, and synastry, signs and synchronicities. They're seeing all of this. They are all aware of it. It just hasn't clicked yet. And I'm getting a past life connection with that children card, but I know that children are also a factor somehow in this with the perception. Maybe it's as simple as like somebody out there wanted to have children and this person was not ready. Page of Swords. Definitely factor with children there. Back and forth. Yeah. I think somebody didn't want to have kids or wasn't ready to be in a relationship that children might have been involved in. Something to that extent. But this is really nice here. It's just a matter of not suppressing their feelings, coming out of the silence. I think in that silence, they're just taking a moment. What is that silence card there for? Three of Cups. The Emperor. So that's what the Emperor is. Yeah, with the 5. He's getting in his own way. Suppressing. Because for whatever reason it is, and that hard truth will be different for everybody, he's feeling like it's either scares him or doesn't fit into that lifestyle right now. A moment of fast for Scorpio, please. Self-sabotage. So somebody self-sabotaged it. And they said to get one more. And they're still in that mindset. Dreams and goals. So you were kind of too good to be true, Scorpio. And they'll figure it out. It's just going to take a little bit more time. And as soon as you surrender and release, that's going to be the key there, I think. That's going to free up just enough energy to get them moving on their own healing. For some reason, I'm picking up Aries. So Aries wants to go next. Hesitation. Past heartbreak, broken trust, afraid to move forward, infertility. Fresh ideas, manifest growth, plant your seeds. Big hesitation to either move on or let something go within this connection. And maybe somebody is hesitant to surrender, thinking, and that's a common misconception, that if you let them go, they're gone for good. You know, anything that's meant to be yours will always be yours. And that's why they say that. So I don't know why that came out. So we've got morality, success, playfulness, flowering, and schizophrenia here. So I get the sense that this person didn't want anything serious. They might have even had a little bit of player energy to them. And that doesn't mean that they looked at you like that. It just means that they don't know what to do with that kind of energy when it comes in their life, because that's how they've been handling things. They step on their own success, or they're success driven. So love might take a back seat to how they move forward. And there's a big time paranoid vibe there too. They could have been jealous or untrusting, not just of the connection, but I'm hearing of relationships in general, the opposite sex in general type of thing. What can you add to this for the Aries, please? Page of Cups. Just still a little bit maturity there. But they know deep down, they know that an apology is needed, but they can't see it with the Two of Swords. They can't see through their own stuff. But look at this. The universe is going to bring them a tower. It's going to take a tower to get that to move forward. And they're going to get one, is what they're saying here. Let's see. So their perspective of it. They might have had a friend. So we have the Fox, deception, lies, and deceit, trickery with the friend here. They might have tried to just keep you as a friend. It could have started as a friends with benefits situation. Of course, that's not going to be with everyone. For others of you, a friend might have come in between this connection, maybe by saying some things that put some red flags or sirens in this person's head about you. Not because they didn't like you, but, you know, sometimes people say things and just like, are you ready for love? Or isn't this a little fast? Or you can't love this person yet? Or haven't they been divorced 12 times? You know, stuff like that, to where it kind of sabotaged it a little bit. Because with the rose-colored glasses, that's funny because that's part of the hard truth. It's like they can't see through the illusion. And they might even be glossing. If this friend is somebody that they're involved with romantically, they have very distorted views, or glossing over the truth of that. I think the distorted views come from you. But in their heart for you, they know this is a soul contract, part of their Akashic records. They have an undying loyalty with the dog and the heart, which is deep love, unconditional love. So I think that tower is going to be them figuring out this false friend. And that's going to change everything. So don't worry about that. Just give it a little time. Go ahead and surrender and release. Don't hesitate to do that. Let's get some advice, please, for Aries. Oh, wrong deck. Oh, you know what? I think that was a sign. We're just going to see what comes out here. I think it's just going to say that I'm right. Yeah. Healing, the star. Inspiration, new motivation with the Ace of Wands. Good things happening once that tower falls. So what else for Aries here? Attitude and mindset. So it's this person's mindset, living with those rose-colored glasses on. But like I said for, was it Scorpio over here? Don't listen to what I'm saying here, guys, and like use that as a reason not to surrender. The goal is to surrender. They can't come back the way they're supposed to until you surrender. But that needs to not be the goal. So complicated, I know. Let's go to, no, well, I already picked it up, Gemini. Sorry, Pisces, Sag, all y'all. We'll get there in a second. Oh, soulmate, compatibility, companionship, your best life partner with destruction. Tower moment, unexpected change, new opportunities. I wonder if a soulmate came between this connection. So for the hard truths, and you guys got quite a few, Gemini. Letting go, slowing down, receptivity, aloneness, guilt, going with the flow, aloneness again, because I used both decks, the source, and ordinariness. So, wow. I feel like the aloneness is a very mirrored energy as far as how things went down in this connection. And perhaps you even came into each other's lives during a time when you both felt very alone, and this person might have been very receptive to that. But you know how these connections work. It's like lighting a fire. It's not swimming down the lazy river. And when it didn't slow down, someone was not receptive to that and just needed it to go with the flow. And someone might have forced somebody's hand too and just said, this back and forth energy is driving me crazy. Draw a line in the sand, like love me or let me go. And they might have made that choice. They feel guilty and bad about it. They might even have a soulmate that they have a life, a partnership with. So their perspective, also the golden egg. So they knew this is like very unordinary. And that's interesting because ordinariness is there. And look at all these eights, 888. Wind chimes, changes coming, changes needed. So some things needed to change, or the changes might have been so fast and abrupt that they couldn't keep up. Because they did see the signs and syncs. I don't know that they know how to put them together yet. They're in the process of that. The missing piece of information. It's like they just need one missing piece, figuring it out. But they also saw you as somebody that was very grounded in their energy, somebody that they could really commit to, but it just went super fast for Gemini. And they might have also had children involved with the situation that complicated things further. But they want justice with the scales here, resolution, fairness, justice. But I feel like they kind of felt like you were their karmic prize for all the crap that they'd gone through in their love life. And for whatever reason, it just went too fast and caused a lot of people. It almost feels like the breakdown here was just a conversation or a moment in time where if everybody could have just been vulnerable. What is this breakdown here for them? Somebody wasn't ready. They needed to heal from something else. And this came into their life like a whirlwind. 9 of Cups. And then whatever happened, they feel like they're trying to be in a place of complacency instead of wish fulfillment. And they might have even viewed it as, given the passion that's behind here, that the feelings came from the physicality instead of the other way around, the physicality coming from the feelings. Not going to be for everybody. So some advice, please, for Gemini about this spread today. Spiritual lessons. So they came, obviously, to teach you a spiritual lesson. This person or situation is not for your highest good. Lack of faith or hope. For some of you out there, this person isn't for your highest good. That's kind of crazy to me because I'm not seeing anything here that says that, but I do feel the need to say that with letting go and going with the flow and source coming in here together. For the majority of you, I feel like, and this could be your struggle or their struggle, the signs and seeks keep coming through and coming through and coming through, and they're either being misinterpreted or, I wouldn't say ignored because they're being noticed, but it's almost like somebody's convinced themselves that this situation isn't for their highest good. Because maybe this person hasn't come back, and maybe because surrendering is so dang difficult. So I kind of wish I hadn't told you that because I feel like you're almost there, Gemini. And for others, that not for you is that life partner that they might be with right now. Aren't collective readings so fun? There's so many possibilities. So many messages. All right, Taurus. Beliefs. Similar or clashing belief systems can bring you together or tear you apart. Balance. Yin and yang, darkness and light. Stay centered in your higher self and appreciate. Your twin appreciates you. See the blessings and practice appreciation. So the hard truths here for Taurus. I think it was hard. One of you might be super spiritual and the other person just not awakened yet. But it was harder for the spiritual person to balance the practicality behind this for some reason. I know that's an odd message because the spiritual one's probably watching this, so it could be reversed. So the hard truth there is the Fool, participation, friendliness, stress, consciousness, and existence. Ouch. So one of you might have taken the leap of faith and fully participated, and the other person just kind of existed within the connection. Caused a lot of stress. Unwilling to really open their heart and take that leap themselves. Why did it stress them out? I do want to find out why there's so much stress here. I don't know if it was the way that things were communicated. Oh, it's just intensity and denial. Let's see, though. We'll get some stuff out. And for some reason, it looks very significant, those two colors of that tree. I think it's a red and a yellow tree. So it stressed them out because they didn't quite know what to do with this. They weren't ready to take that leap of faith. They were on the fence about it for whatever reason. Two of Pentacles, the Fool, Nine of Swords. And it was just overwhelming. As far as their perspective, we've got the knots, complications, restrictions, self-sabotage, runner-chaser dynamic. So they self-sabotaged, ran from it, or felt that you were, however it resonates, holding on to past events and a relationship. So either the pain from the past, either on your end, their end, between you guys, or separately, repeating the same patterns with that hamster. And the mask, they were in denial about it. And here we have the salmon fighting the current, go with the flow. They just fought all their feelings and just took all the stress and all of that off of the table. And with this friendliness card, it's sticking out real big too. They might have been just a friend to you, or just trying to keep you in a friend as a way to deny these feelings. Something to that extent. What about the advice for Taurus? Whoops, that's too many. Hold on just a second. The advice for Taurus, please. Not owning your truth, withdrawn. So they probably did become really withdrawn. They might have went from friendliness to just, I do feel they lied about their feelings. Or they weren't completely honest about them. And that could be they don't understand them on their own. But it's stressing them out, though, Taurus. So, whew. All right. On to, let's go ahead and go up here and do Pisces. So, Pisces, chaser. In pursuit, convincing, rejection, let them go and let it be. With vibration, energy and positivity, raise your vibration to attract what you desire. For the hard truths, we've got the Master, trust, transformation, politics, and celebration. They didn't trust this connection. They might have been in a transformational period or need to go through that, but there's something here with the Master gives me that I get a judgment energy and kind of a temperance energy out of it, but I'm also really getting a, gosh, sorry, my phone keeps beeping and that threw me out of my channeling. An Emperor vibe to that as well. Yeah. And with the Three of Cups here, with the celebration, there's probably a third party. They might have ended up with somebody else due to politics, which means like maybe their family liked this person better. Maybe this person made more money. Maybe it just fell into place and they never really went away. You know, one of those type of relationships. But that might be the hard truth. Now, as far as how they see things, we've got the Divine Masculine card over here, the Mirror card. So lots of mirrored energy there. They kind of felt like you mirrored back a lot of the good qualities. And that might have made it harder for them to trust it, ironically. because they've got this skittish, nervous energy that you make them feel. Songs are important, probably messages found in songs or lyrics or confessions of love, so they hear that all the time, and I feel like that kind of affects their vibration in a butterfly type of way, but also makes the running a little hard. But they did see here, yeah, golly, with spirituality, religion, courage, something undiscovered or hidden. They saw a lot of great things here. But for some reason, somebody's in the way of this. So let's see. What deck do I want to use for this? What's this politics with the Three of Cups, please? Or the Three of Celebration, whatever you call that. Ten of Swords, Four of Cups, and the Nine of Wands. Yeah, they chose wrong. They chose wrong, and that's caused them a lot of pain and you a lot of pain, and that is a very hard truth indeed, Pisces. Yeah, and it's probably hard. It's maybe even harder for somebody out there to let them go because of the chosen, because you know it was political. Even if this person is not telling you that, you know that it is. And I don't know, it just triggers some things. Surrender is cool. It's time to surrender, Pisces. They will be back, I promise. Some point in time. Like I said, could be 20 years. You're not waiting, though. We're healing and feeling. Ooh, Sag. Okay, Sag. What's the deal today, y'all? Unawakened. So somebody's unaware in the 3D and their ego, not quite ready yet. Fifth dimension, but communication's happening. Mystery, magic, intrigue, suspense. You're entering unknown territory. An offer. Gesture, engagement, wedding, rejoice in your union. Hard truths here is patience, comparison, postponement, nothingness, and isolation. Ooh. So while all this is going on in this fifth dimension conversation and you're trying to walk this mysterious path and figure out all the mystery in it, this message is coming through very clear. Don't look too hard at the whys. They will unfold naturally. Look at it as a journey, because sometimes when we go searching for the whys, we're either intentionally misled or it opens up, I don't know, some rabbit holes that you don't need here. Because this is really great. It's like almost like just divine timing with patience and postponement. I think this has been a lesson for you with patience, definitely. With nothingness and isolation, I don't feel like any conversation's been had, maybe even communication, in a really long time before these people. But somebody here is comparing. And they realize, okay, like both of these things are strong, but I'm more of a tree person than bamboo, or I need a bigger foundation to build upon. And there's something to that. Somebody's realizing. And they went off the wrong path. They could think that this is you, however it resonates, because somebody's off course with the compass. But they knew that you are a very healing connection. They have a deep knowing with the owl, inner wisdom, deep knowing, release, higher perspective. Like they're trying to, they look at it the way that they should, but they're just not awakened to the actual connection. And that could be, somebody could be in a different situation right now, especially with engagement, wedding, all of that stuff. Or they could just be resistant to change, because we have the statue and salmon here, fighting the current, go with the flow. Like they don't want to break out of the situation that they're in now. And I think they knew if they did that with the hummingbird, there would be rapid movement, communication. And that's why they're keeping it so quiet. Which one of those other signs had that? Let's see. I'm going to get a couple of tarot cards for this. What is this hummingbird here for, please? Ten of Pentacles. The Queen of Swords. Yeah. They're holding back until they can give you that Ten of Pentacles situation. Until they can get away from whatever partnership they're in now. It could be a career. But they're holding back on that. That's so sad, though, that because I just feel, even the cards here, like there's so much love and something to this connection. And I think that surrender is the only thing needed here, Sag. Like literally the only thing needed on somebody's side. Because you know energetically that frees everything up. Upcoming tower and moment pending or required. Yep. This is the problem. Pay attention. So they need a tower. Let's see. What's this tower that's pending going to be about? Go ahead and shuffle these. I feel like I should get out a whole new deck for this. But what's this upcoming tower for Sag? King of Cups. Somebody's not listening to their heart. They've been through a lot of pain about this. Probably put you through a lot of pain. The Hermit and the Four of Cups. They just went completely quiet and ignored their intuition. And it's going to bring a tower in. Sounds like somebody's about to have an awakening. It's exciting for the Sag. All right, Capricorn. Let's see what's new with you. Inner child and forgive. Playful, happy, enjoy the present moment, live to the fullest, and forgive. Tranquility, peaceful mind and heart, freedom from the past. A lot of forgiveness is here for what went awry. And a need to go back to the beginning, into what really, truly makes you happy. And what made that person happy. You know what I mean? Somebody got lost in the shuffle. The dream. See, the inner child, the dream here. It's like pull that dream back out. Exhaustion, clinging to the past, integration, and the outsider. Wow. So these are the hard truths. 2 5s here signify big changes coming. And I feel with the outsider, and look, that's a little kid standing outside. There's some inner child wounds on this person's side from childhood that like have definitely got to be healed, and maybe some past love stuff as well, and they're exhausted by it, which is the Nine of Wands energy. So they're kind of, and there's the letter P. I don't know if that's significant to somebody, but that's the first time that's ever stood out to me. But that would be the wounded warrior card in the tarot, the Nine of Wands, and it's like, I just can't keep doing this. But they wouldn't go for their dreams either. It's like they knew that this was a dream come true. And maybe due to all of this from the past, they felt that they couldn't trust it. But they just need to integrate the lessons that they've learned and let this past stuff go. So this is just like a big time healing is the hard truth here. And that really comes through too with the angel, which is spirituality, religion, the spirit guide. So their guides are really trying to help them work through that. But look at this. Deep love, unconditional love. You were like, you know that song? It's so old. I think it's 80s. Send me an angel. Send me an angel. Used to roller skate to that song. They think that was you. Whether you're a guy, girl, doesn't matter. You know, angels are both. Heart, because of all this deep love. Like nobody ever loved them the way that you did. But we've still got this holding on to past events or relationships, ignoring the big issues, the heavy burdens, and being in denial. So one or both of you here were still holding on stuff from the past. Could have even been stuff from the past between you guys that just never quite got resolved or rectified. But I feel like it's more like this person was just in deep denial and felt like so many people had been disloyal to them throughout their life that you would be no different, because they just hadn't integrated that dream into reality, their practicality with their spirituality. If that makes sense. All right, Capricorn, let's get some advice for you. It's time to address and fix the problem. So get out of your head over analysis. I don't know if this is necessarily your advice. It's time to address and fix the problem. However, if you are getting guided by your guides, your intuition, to reach out, to say hi, to kind of correspond with this person, take that advice, because you never know. In fact, sometimes they do that to not get a response, but to plant a bug so that the response can come at the right time. You never know how this works. So get out of your head about it. And if you feel like you're being called to reach out, go for the win. Let's see if we can figure out what this problem is. I'm going to use the big deck here. Sorry, guys, I haven't shuffled this. So what is the problem that needs to be fixed and addressed? The Empress, the Ace of Cups, the Knight of Wands. The problem is this love thing that never quite got answered or rectified. I feel like someone's mom or mother of their children got in the way too, in some way, shape, or form. That could have been the baggage. And they just need to heal from it. And the in and out energy needed to stop. And that might be why this came to an end. That's beautiful though, Capricorn. Lots of good things today for everybody. All right, Aquarius. Let's see what's going on for you. Compromise, mutual understanding, flexibility, give and take brings rewards. With pause, inaction, calmness, step back, wait for the sign. And solitude, retreat, introspection, silence, go deep within yourself. So this is a moment of pause and solitude. The compromise is interesting. I almost kind of get a sense of like somebody was standing up for themselves kind of in a way and not letting themselves be put in a I don't know why compromising situation was coming out. We'll see. All right. The hard truth is the burden, totality, change, we are the world, understanding, and the miser. Oh, wow, Aquarius. Okay. I don't think this is all going to be one person's hard truth, but if so, then ouch. Okay. There's a lot of cycles that need to close out. There's a lot of lessons that either both of you need to learn individually or this person needs to learn. And they need to be, there's change needed, you know, in the totality of their life. I'm hearing, not just because I got that card, but, oh, and I just noticed in totality, there's 3 people in this card, and the middle person is the only way that they are able to connect. That's interesting. But this has been a burden. I feel very much that somebody couldn't let go, and that somebody was very selfish and stingy with their feelings and just lacked the understanding and compromise, you know, with the miser, with compromise and understanding. Well, let's see over on this side, how they see it. The colleague, the storm, inner wisdom, deep knowing, the lantern, the guiding light, light at the end of the tunnel, the friend, magnifying glass, analysis, logical thought, deeper look, tightrope, need for balance, walking a fine line, hesitancy to pick a side. Wow. Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of different stories coming through here for the Aquarius. Let me move Capricorn out of the way. Try to move this up here where you can see it. For some reason, they tried, for some of you, tried to keep you as a friend. Didn't quite know how to move it into a relationship category. It could be because over here there's so much going on with what needs to go on in their world. I mean, change, understanding, totality, the burden, the miser. Money is important on some level. I'm not calling this person stingy or selfish or necessarily materialistic, but it's important to them. And they're guided and affected by that in ways that most people aren't, okay? They do have a deep knowing about you, no doubt about that. Logically, though, they might feel that you try to overanalyze or that the situation caused them to analyze or look at themselves a little deeper too much. And for some of you, might work together. If you work together, that was also kind of not, I don't want to say a problem, but since it's their perspective, you got to realize like that has some, usually has some not side effects, but you know what I mean. repercussions that come with that. Thank you, Spirit. Did you get 2 guiding lights? Oh, no. Okay. But they do know that, like, you are a bright light in their life and that they need to get to that bright light. But I don't think they're going to until they get through that storm. And they feel a storm with your energy because when they have all of this going on that needs to change and grow, they don't understand it. So it feels like a storm instead of like rain that comes to help them water and grow. What's this person's deal? Like, what is going on here? What is the miser and the burden? Okay. That 3 of Cups again. So for some of you, there is a third-party situation. But for the majority of you, they put other people's happiness in front of their own for whatever reason. With the Devil here. Might want to go back and look at the Capricorn. I don't know why, but I feel like that could be significant. And sometimes they mistake passion, or misplace it. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, misplace it. And don't really know what to do with it past that passionate point. They don't know how to make it grow. They're still very page-like, I think they're trying to understand it, trying to get there, but with all of these things that need to change, what needs to change with this person? Like, where's the change that needs to happen? Oh, Queen of Cups tries to flip out. They need to be more fair. They need to be more fair with themselves, definitely, and stick up for themselves in unfair situations. With the Justice card and the Queen of Swords here. They also need to cut some things out of their life because that came with the 8 of Cups and walk away from something. And also tap into this King of Cups, their feelings, and do things for their highest good and not the highest good of everybody else involved. Could be a family situation where they're toting the line for the whole family and they need a storm to come to kind of knock this out. Let's see if that's actually a tower or if that's a metaphor. What's this storm for? For Aquarius, please. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm going to get the Devil. See that Capricorn reading, even if, go back and watch it, even if you're not a Capricorn, because I don't know why there's something significant about that. All right, let's try this one. What's this tower? Or the storm, I mean. See if we can get a couple cards out here for you. Temperance, 4 of Cups, 3 of Swords, and the Hierophant. Oh my goodness. Okay. Sag energy here. Strong Sag. Divine timing also with Temperance. But I feel the Tower might be, you might move on to a different commitment. Could be a job, could be a person, could be whatever. But it takes away their access to you in a different way. And it's also energetic and causes all this heartbreak. Because right now they're not seeing it. It's going to take a third party. I don't mean a person. I mean something to come between you guys. Other than just the divine, which is helping. So what is the advice for Aquarius before we move forward? We got Cancer and Leo left. Thank you for sticking around, guys. We're still here. Dependent upon free will. I know. Nobody likes that. So that's the advice. They're going to have to make that choice. And when you surrender, as you surrender and release too, that's going to help that a lot. That'll pull that energetic tide back. So moving on to Cancer. Hold on just a second, guys. I'm going to pause this and kind of make it work. I know it's kind of stupid to do that at the end. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. I didn't realize this is as long as it's been, but hopefully it will reach the people it's supposed to. So Cancer. You have transformation, breakthrough, reinvention. You're ready for the next level. And control, stagnation, delusion, release, the need to control situations. So sometimes things get out of our control. And so your person might be controlling the outcome. And you might be trying to control the outcome as well. If you're only seeing your life and your future tied to this specific person, even though it seems like nobody else can even compare, that's what we're trying to avoid, because energetically it's causing a delay. Yeah, with participation. So They also have totality, the burden, possibilities, and compromise. So they might have to give up some things. You know, if they are very career driven and they care about what everybody else, you know, in the world thinks about them and who they're with, what they're doing. Not that there's anything wrong, or you're perfect the way you are, you know, and they need to and probably do love you unconditionally, but they're going to have to lose something. That won't be for everyone. But the hard truth is somebody's going to have to give up something to come forward. And that could just be giving up their pride and ego, you know, and taking that step and saying, because the burden weighs on them with the burden card. Like, it's heavy. The elephant card, I'm surprised if it's not here. I think it's already came out twice. But it's inescapable. And that's 2 6s right there too. And they also had the mind, adventure, and maturity. So the feelings, I think, came so fast that they felt they didn't have enough time to mature on their own the way that they should have. And it really messed with their mind, because then they got into the cycle of not trusting it. They saw the possibilities, but didn't choose to believe in them. You know, the totality of it didn't make sense, and they elected, for whatever reason, to not participate. Okay. But they did see an adventure. So something or someone might have come along to kind of knock them off their path. See how this little girl's going down a different path? It looks like the rainbow's there. They tried to find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and might have left you behind. Now, the interesting thing here is, look, you also had 2 duplicates. Who did that come out for? Pisces. So you might be dealing with the Pisces. Always look for also your Venus, your sun and your moon and your ascendant. Okay. Because a lot of times the Venus or the moon will resonate more with these readings, but they're lost. They've got a lot of thoughts, nostalgia, regrets of past actions when it comes to you. And I feel like that's on both sides. Like, everybody's thinking, I should have went left when I went right. I should have went right when I went left. If I would have done this, because they know that this is a soul contract. I don't think that they can have figured it out, you know, or elected to participate, but it is a burden that weighs on them, definitely, with the moon. Lots of dreams, astral travel, 5D communication. Songs affect them, remind you of them all the time. Ancestors are trying to help out behind the scenes, but their perspective is definitely different. They might have released you, or they look at it from a higher perspective, and they might just not want to affect your life by coming in and burdening you with all of this. The locked, trapped, or feeling stuck in a situation. So they feel trapped by your memory, definitely. I am unable to escape it, but there could be another situation there as well. Why is this trapped card here, please? I'm going to do a quick shuffle. Sorry, guys, this is running so long. I am going to put timestamps in there. 2 of Wands, yeah. 2 of Wands, Justice card. Someone chose wrong. They took control of the situation, made a choice. It wasn't what they expected. Could be dealing with a Libra, but there's no justice in this situation. They want to bring that to you, though. So what's the advice for Cancer and Cancer's person? Major developments are coming soon. Let this go and move forward. And I think that that's this lack of justice. There's something here that needs to be let go. This adventure has got to be let go of. There's going to have to be some compromise to make this work. And they might be ready for that compromise. They might have not known what that compromise was previously. And that might be what Spirit's trying to get them to be aware of. So moving on to Leo. Last but not least for the Leo. Leo, you got the actual surrender card. Detach, trust, free fall. Have faith that all will be well. Regret, remorse, life regrets, loss. Start making empowered choices and mirroring. Reflection, twin, wholeness, synchronicity abounds. I think, man, Leo, I feel like every time you try to surrender, their energy just knocks you back down. And also some of the regrets. Because I think you think if you would have said or did something differently, made one little tiny decision, kind of like that sliding doors movie, everything would have been different. So surrender is really, literally the only thing in the way of this. for the most part. So we've got sharing, suppression, which that's the opposite, thunderbolt, silence, fighting, fighting twice, look at that, and courage. So someone, the hard truth here is somebody needs to have the courage to speak their mind and their heart through this silence. And it's like the divine is like sending them thunderbolts. I mean, look at this, fire. And it's funny too that the fire is like right around the crotch area. To me, that always cracks me up. And this is tower energy. So it's like the divine is like shooting this down, trying to get them to come forward, to have the courage to share their feelings, and they suppress it every single time. That could be you too, because there's so much mirroring here. I feel like everybody here is fighting it. Look at this. Okay, you've got tribe twice. Finding your home, bonding, soul tribe. Like, this person feels, they know that you're a part of their soul on some level. But when it closed out, something about how this thing closed out with this regret keeps them very hesitant. There could be some things with the tightrope. So there is balance needed in the situation. A side, people are going to have to choose sides and come to each other again. But they know it's healing. They know that there's all these things they haven't shown or told you, and you either, with the rock star, and this is how they perceive the connection. Like, so much was left unsaid here. It could have moved too fast with the hummingbird card, and this could be a work situation, or somehow or another finances are involved, or colleagues, money. Let's get to the bottom of that. Let's find out what that colleague is there for, because that didn't really make sense to me. Oh, that won't be for everyone, for all the Leos for sure, but maybe so. Work is very important to someone here, and their status, their growth financially moving forward. Love is always taking a backseat because they can control this. Like that control card screaming, they can control their heart and everything in that aspect. Even if they're in a business relationship with somebody, you know what I'm saying? Not like working together, but a roommate dynamic where they're in love and they're not in love. They're together, not out of love, but for stability, for partnership, that type of thing. Because this person is guarded with their heart and unwilling to leave where they feel stable. And they wanted to be as open as you, or somebody did. Somebody wanted to take this leap of faith desperately, but just didn't quite make the cut. What are they fighting here? What are they fighting and suppressing? Options, stability. So changes would need to be made to come out of this. But look at this, the Wheel of Fortune. That feels like the surrender. Once that surrender hits, that wheel's going to turn and things are going to make a lot more sense. So let's get some stuff, Leo. And thank you guys for being here today. Please stick around, like, share, subscribe if you think somebody will be helped by this. Be true to yourself. They need to be true to themselves. Misinterpreting the signs. So some things that the divine has been, screaming to them, they're leaving it in the past. They're not thinking this is still in my life and in my head space and heart space for a reason. But I think that's going to change. And I did want to mention at the bottom of this deck for the collective was outcome, results, conclusion, ending. You will get a resolution. We've got to release the control of that. Family and hidden path. So it's almost like the outcome in some situations, a lot of situations, might have been delayed because there is a path here, a fated path that people need to go down that is part of either their soul family or just basic family. Sometimes we're meant to meet people and be with them for a specific amount of time, and then fate steps in again, So there's so much hope here, guys. And I will try to get part 2 out by next week. I'm going to do some other videos and try to be regular about that. But part 2, we're going to get into focus on self and healing and in the letting go portion. So thank you so much. I'm sending you so much healing, love, and light, and take care. I'll be back soon.